Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ishvan Jaco. Most of you know who I am, and those who don't, I am a home inspector. I've been in the home inspection industry for 12 years. Did a lot of construction before that, and at a certain point, somebody turned me on to home inspections. And it's been an exciting ride. You know, single man operation for a long time, and then finally decided to grow. And we did at a certain point become large inspection company in our state, which is kind of exciting. It's a very small state, New Mexico, but it's still an accomplishment. And there's a lot of things I learned along the way that I didn't know. You know, I've had multiple businesses in the past. I've been in construction, a lot of handyman, a lot of trades, landscaping, painting. I've done other things outside of that, and I've been an employee for other businesses as well and learned a lot from some really great business owners going along the way. The one thing that I didn't learn until later on was marketing. It's just one of the things I didn't do. As my inspection company grew, all I did was just try to meet people, engage with people, interact with people as much as I could, and tell them about my stuff, right? So what we start doing, it's like we got something for sale, and we go and we just tell people, we tell people about stuff. And today I want to talk about that because the topic here is stop talking about yourself. Well, if I'm selling, how am I supposed to do that without talking? For me, my perspective with marketing and selling is about building relationships. By building relationships, we get to work with people that we know, like, and trust, and we get to build those relationships, get referrals, and get the business that we originally went out there to find. When we talk about ourselves, lots of marketing looks like this. People are just talking at you. Think about every presentation you've ever gone to where it's a sponsored event and there's realtors. The mortgage lender does it, the insurance company does it, the title and escrow company does it, the stagers do it. They get up on stage and they just talk at the realtors and tell them everything they can do for the realtor and their client. And they're just talking about themselves every single time. Think about the advertisements you see. A lot of them are that. We're bigger, we're better. Our stuff is so much better than everybody else's. And it's just me. That's all I'm talking about. If I'm talking about how good my stuff is and I know it's good, I'm still just talking about me. How does that help the people that we're trying to help? Our thoughts are, well, they need this. Yeah, but what's going to get them to get it from you? What's going to convince them that they want to work with you? That they're going to take one of their commissions, right? Let's talk about realtors. If the average realtor is selling about 7 homes, doing 7 deals a year, what's going to make them want to risk one of those 7 on your company? Because that was a big portion, like almost 15% of your income for the year. That's a risk. We want them to be able to take a risk using our company, knowing that we're going to take care of them and take care of their clients. So if we're just talking at them, just telling them how good we are, how many other companies do you think are telling the same thing every time they're in front of them? We're the best. We're the best. We're the best. I remember when I started doing my inspection company, I got invited to do a presentation in front of a bunch of realtors. I showed up, like, yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm going to get up there. I'm going to tell them everything that my company does and why I'm the best and what I do on the job. And I got up there, started talking about home inspections, how good I am, my past history in building and construction and all the knowledge I had. I thought I crushed it. The only thing is, there was my audience. They were bored. How exciting do you think realtors are to hear about home inspections? Yeah. It's probably the last thing they want to hear at work. They're like, I have to go to this meeting, and a home inspector is going to be there, right? How do we engage with them that helps them trust us? Because most agents, when I talk to them, this is what I hear when they're like, oh, we got a home inspector that's going to come and share next week. They're done. They are so bored hearing about home inspections.
They'll eat your food, though.
They'll eat your food. Yes, they will. And- but over and over, and all the vendors, same with the title, same with the insurance, the mortgage, they're all going to come and tell them how they can get their client the best rate. We can do everything the best for your client. Well, once again, we're just talking at them. We're just talking at them, trying to convince them that they should be using my company because I'm so good. And you probably are. You're probably better than all your competitors, but is that what they're going to hear? Or do they just hear you talking about yourself? How nice is it to hang out with somebody and have coffee, and the whole time all they did was talk to you about themselves and never asked, how was your day? Doesn't feel like good, right? It's like, well, yeah, I know they're up to a lot of stuff, but damn, they just talk about themselves. So we got to figure out a way to engage with people and connect with them without selling ourselves. We want to build the relationship. Do we want one inspection from that person, or do we want the inspections from all their clients in the future? And if you're going after clients directly, same thing with them. Do you want just one inspection from that client, or do you want them to tell their family and friends and everybody else, right? How do we build value? How do we connect with people so that we continue to get those referrals? Now, what do realtors want? Is anybody new to inspections, first year, second year? What do realtors want?
I couldn't tell you, figuring it out. I think they want a relationship with the inspector they enjoy working with and trust.
I'm so happy you said that because you just seeded that perfectly. Everybody thinks a realtor, when they start in the industry, wants a good home inspector. Imagine I'm Tommy, top agent. I wake up 5:30 in the morning thinking about all those emails and everything, and I'm going, man, I wish I had a great home inspector. I'm making a joke about it, but really, do you think that's what they're thinking about? Is that what they want?
Last thing on their mind.
What are they thinking about? Getting to the closing table, right? Yeah. They're thinking about, how do I get another lead? How do I get another client? How do I get another sale? How do I get another listing? Where do I get some more buyers? That's what they're thinking about, right? They want to know what's going to bring money to the bank and make them get what they want. That's the same reason you'd be in front of those realtors, right? You're thinking, I want to do a home inspection because I just love helping people, or I want to get some home inspections so I can pay the bills, right? It's a reality. We want to make money. It's part of it. But so are other people. The realtors, they want to make money. So how do you help the realtors get what they want? Because you're coming asking for something, but what do you have to give? You turn that around and you come to give something, changes the relationship. I'm not there just to ask for something for me. I'm not there just to talk about me. I'm there to help them help their clients so everybody can get what they want. I believe more in reciprocity. If I help people get what they want, I'm going to get what I want. Even Zig Ziglar said it. Help enough people get what they want, and you'll get what you want. It's like some people know that, I lived 7 years in a tent, had dreadlocks down to here. It's an interesting journey. And during the time that I was living that lifestyle, I didn't have a dream. I really didn't know what I was doing. It's like, you asked me what I'm doing tomorrow. I was like, I'll tell you tomorrow. I don't know. I had no ambition, no goals, no bills, no responsibilities, no income, no debts. Well, I had debts, but they weren't like anything that were affecting my life out there. There's no mailbox to get a letter when you're sitting out in the tent. But one of the things that I found that I really enjoyed was helping other people pursue their dreams. It became like a passion for me to help other people accomplish things. I met people that were building stores, like they were going to open up a cafe, and I got to lay tile and paint and all these other things. A little bit of a distraction there, rabbit trail, but the idea was that I was helping other people get what they want. And in return, these people later on helped me get what I want. Some of them it was through mentorship, things that they shared. Some of them was really physically helping me do things or being there to support me. It's a different type of relationship when you're not there trying to sell somebody. Remember how good you know you are and they need your services, but to build a relationship where they get to know you. They get to know more about you. They get to know you, like you, trust you. They want to engage with you They know how you interact with other people, and they want their clients to have that experience. That's what we want. Because that's what's going to get somebody talking about you, talking about your company, talking about your services, and continuing to help you get in front of the clients that need your services. So why do we keep talking about ourselves? Right? And we still do it. Some people ask, what do you do? Oh, I do this, that, and that, and and it's just a habit. But if we change that, we can change that and be much more effective in building our relationships so that they want to talk about us. They like the way we make them feel when they engage with us, when they interact with us, the things that we share, the things that we bring to the conversation, rather than, we probably all had it, somebody comes up to you, hey, I do this, that, and that. If you know anybody that needs that, here's my card, thank you, give me a call. And then they're on, I didn't even catch his name. Yeah, I don't need that. I don't want to interact with that. I don't want to refer that person to anybody that I know, because that's the experience I had with them. I don't want anybody to have that experience. That was not a good experience. So let's focus on the relationship, so that long term we can continue to have that relationship, build that relationship, continue to get referrals from the people who can share with other people our information that need the services that we offer. 7 levels of communication. Highly recommend, if you have not read this book, it's Michael Mayer, 7 levels of communication. Really, really awesome for learning to communicate with people, and not just your spouse, but like in business and building relationships with people that otherwise you may not be able to engage with. This will help you and help you understand the different types of touch points and the different levels that they carry. I'm going to go through a lot of them, and I'm going to give you ideas that you can use in your business today that you can start adding to make connections with your agents and start building those relationships. Because once again, we can go after clients. Clients may give us one inspection, maybe every 7 years. Maybe they can refer us to other people. Sometimes we get some people that really know people. But agents, if they're interested in staying in the business, on average, they're going to be doing 7 a year. I'd rather get those 7 a year than one every 7 years. So that's where I spend a lot of my time focusing on, is building these relationships with real estate professionals. How about this? Advertising. So real quick, the low advertising, informational zone. This is just information that we share with people. It's a big, wide net, but it's not very defined either. The message is very simple. And you should watch out what your message is. I want to show you a couple things that I found that I couldn't help but had to share. Just some really good ideas that were poorly implemented. So, cellophane. The best things in life come in cellophane, right? We buy so many things in packaged cellophane. It keeps it fresh, all these different things. But the image of a baby in a plastic bag, I don't know. Somebody overthought this one, and didn't really think about how that'd come off, So this is like advertising. When you're doing your advertising, we have a perspective of what we're trying to sell and the message we're sending, but are we always certain that that message is going to be received the way that we're hoping they're going to interpret it? I know myself, I've been in this long enough, and I will tell my team members, hey, look at this email before I send it out. Hey, I just put a flyer together. Could you look it over? And every once in a while, somebody will send something out without asking somebody else. I'm like, that didn't go over so well. So get a second opinion. It's always good. Especially trust the team that you're working with. You have a team there for that reason to help support each other. Have somebody else look over it. You might have something like this where people are going, especially today with everybody so offended. We don't want to offend people. We really want to reach them and let them know that we're there to help them. What about this one? I came up with a nice cap that was easy to open. So their message was, you mean a woman can open it? They were trying to say it was really easy to open. They probably got letters from wives or women that said, hey, your bottle's too hard to open. Can you do something about it? But then they took that message and turned it back and said, you mean a woman can open it? Their message probably didn't get received in the way they were expecting it to. Especially if this happened today, that would be really bad, right? We all know, I won't say the brand, but there was they had an exercise bike, right? They did a commercial and everybody complained about it, but yet on social media, you see people all the time posting themselves on that exercise bike. You never know how things are going to be taken, so we want to be very aware of it. How about that one? Perfect beer for removing no from your vocabulary for the night. It was probably, when I read that, I think about Yes Man, right? Anybody seen Yes Man? Just, oh, yes. He's just like, I think of that when I read that, but there's the other side of it, like, oh, I'm going to buy my dates Bud Light. It's just a bad message. But they were trying to say, like, it would be like the party thing and everybody would be up for anything and not say no. Not everybody's going to read it that way. All right, we got to watch out with our messages. What about this one? This Mother's Day, get back to the job that really matters. What? Get back to taking care of kids or cleaning the house? We got to watch out with our message. So we may have fun ideas. Sometimes we want to be funny. We got to be very careful about if everybody's going to read that properly and understand what we're trying to get. And I only have one more. This is just hilarious. But Sega, it was when they came out with the joystick. They had the paddle. Really easy to control, right? The more you play with it, the harder it gets. And there's the image. I'm like, oh, man. They were trying to say as you get to more levels, it gets more complicated, but it doesn't read that way. It reads very bad. And then you sit there, eyes glued to the writhing arcade quality graphics, pulling and squeezing your knob. Now you're breathing heavily over the digital stereo sound. Now you're shooting all over the place. Yeah, like shooter games, right? But really bad ideas. So be very careful about the images, the things that you're wording. It's always good to get a second opinion. I have a couple people I get to ask questions. Sometimes I don't really like the response, but I'm always glad to have somebody else give me some feedback because it helps me make sure that my message is being done correctly. Especially, like, what about when somebody has an inquiry about your services or what we dare call a complaint? We always want to make sure that we're very diplomatic when we answer those, right? We want to do that in our advertisement, especially on these low level. These are going blasted out. Lots of people are going to see this. We want to make sure that we're able to reach that market. But once again, it's low level. So it's just a small touch point. It's usually just information. It's very simple. I don't put too much into these because I know that my market, it's very broad. It's not targeted. So I try to watch out, with my budget and my message there that's very simple and it's cost effective. And if you can track it as well. What, how, and why? So what kind of message do we want to say? Most people sell this way, right? I'm the home inspector. I'm going to get up there. I'm going to tell them how I'm InterNACHI certified, and I've been in construction for 10 years, and I do this, and I got a cool crawl bot and an IR camera, and I'm the man. All I did was tell them what I did and a little bit of how I did it with my tools. That's about most messages get to what and how. It doesn't go very far. You have an idea of what you do, sure, great, but who are you? Why are you doing this? A lot of realtors just think that we're there just to get a cut of their transaction, just like all the other vendors. What if you started with your why? Why don't we just do everything backwards? Because most people never get to why and get to know who you are, what your company is, why you're really doing what you do. Hi, my name is Ishvan with Jocko Home Inspections. I believe every family should have a safe place to call home. And I do that through being certified, additional training, and using the latest equipment to inspect your home. Would you like a home inspection? I want them to connect with me. I want them to get to know about why I've done that. Has anybody ever shared your story, personal stories in front of agents? Like a heartache or a moment that was challenging your life? A lot of those agents that are in that room probably still use you today. And I can say that for a lot of the rooms that I've gotten to share. I let them know about who I am, why I'm passionate about doing what I do, and it connects with them emotionally, and then I tell them how. And then you can remind them what it is that you actually do. But that's the lighter part of the message. If your main message is what you do, He didn't care about me. He just stood up there and talked about himself the whole time. So let's figure out that message. You know, does your company have a vision? Does it have a vision statement? Does it have your values as to what you actually stand for? And if you work that into your messages, it makes a difference because you're telling them why you do what you do or who you are and how that, what that means to them, how that affects what you're doing, how you want to help them and their clients, not just boring them with what you do. Yeah. Home inspections for realtors is a boring topic. Just saying. It is kind of boring. You know, even sometimes I don't really want to talk too much about home inspections. I've done thousands of them. We could talk, shop about it, but I like talking about why people do things. That helps me connect and get to know them. And in the reverse, too, when you get to sit down with somebody, ask them about themselves. Find out their why. Let them connect with you as well. It's very powerful. So think about your messages. Are you only talking about what you do and how you do it? And how you can change that around so you're talking about why you do what you do, how you actually do it. And then the what you can mention, but it's not that big part of the message. It's why you're doing what you're doing. People love to work with people they know, like, and trust. It's a fact. I've seen people go to a business they say that is not the greatest, but they love the way they feel when they work with the staff there. It's the feeling. You may not believe it, but a lot of people buy based on emotions, right? Think about the things that they want to express that they can't explain. Those are emotions. Those are things that words can't describe. And when you can make them feel a certain way, it makes a bigger impact. Think about everything in your life, everything that's happened in your past, good or bad. Let's focus on the good, but good or bad, the things that stand out the most have some sort of emotional impact on you. You remember the feeling when that happened. So why don't we share that with our message? Why don't we talk about a feeling? Why don't we tell them our why? Why don't we connect with them emotionally so they can really get to know who we are? It's a whole different level than just trying to tell them how great I am. Once again, talking about I. The why, my why is for other people. It's my why, but it's to help other people. Changes everything. And they get to know a little more about who I am, what I'm doing, and why I'm doing it. Why I want to make that impact. And then how I plan on making that impact, and then what I'm going to do to get there. Completely different. So look at your message. Make sure you're making that connection with people, not just talking at them. There's a lot of stuff we can do when it comes to advertising. That's our low level. We saw that. That's a very wide net. There's all these other things. Most of us might be already doing pay-per-click, Google ads, Facebook ads, get on Angie's list. You know, we get the calls from the Home Advisor all the time. We get all sorts of stuff. Those are nice, but they're low level, very low level. And we want to treat them that way. We want to budget money for them, but there's other high-level things we're going to get to where we can have more of an impact on the community that we're helping. Second thing, direct mail. Is anybody doing mailers? Any direct mailing? Mailing. Not that many people, okay? That means it's an opportunity. People aren't doing direct mail, right? How many of you guys all gotten the letter from, like, say, Pella Windows, and it looks handwritten on a grid sheet, like they took it right out of their notepad and sent it to you? We get them. I've never bought Pella Windows through it, but they keep sending them. Why? Because they work. Some people call. Yeah, they're getting return on it. They're getting a return on the investment. Once again, it's just direct mail. Keep your message simple. Keep it easy to know, understand, connect with people, but it's a low level. Personally, for me, I automated it. I'm not sitting there typing up my next mailer every time. I usually have some stuff set up, and it's automated. It's just going out so that I can keep connecting with people. It's a very low-level touch, but it's a touch. It's a good thing, and you probably see all the ads are usually just about themselves. I, once again. What about the ones from the realtors? I just sold a home in your neighborhood. All the time. All the time. They could automate that, and you know what the funny thing is? They do one touch point. They send you one postcard, and then they never followed up. They never knocked on your door. They never sent another postcard. They didn't do nothing. You can automate it. It's real easy. It's a low-level touch point, but it's one more touch point. And that's the idea, is to keep touching those realtors and making sure that they know who you are, that you're out there and that you're able to help their clients. So GSPs are generic selling propositions or selling points. If you're going to be putting stuff about what you do, what do you put on it? I'm going to share with some of the things that I saw website after website after website after website. The best inspector. I'm the best. But by whose terms? That's like, is that a major concern? Is that a small crack? It's all relative. But I see it over and over and over. We're the best inspection company. Okay. Who said that? Your grandma? Who determined that? You know, it's really generic. A lot of people using it. I'm not criticizing if you're using it. It's just it's generic. It's being used by many people. It doesn't make you stand out. What about InterNACHI certified? That's a great thing. I like the certification. I'm not knocking InterNACHI, but how many other people are InterNACHI certified? How many thousands and thousands of people are InterNACHI certified? So does it make you stand out? No. Digital report. Is anybody doing a handwritten report anymore? No. So once again, we're back at the real estate office telling them all these things about why we're so great. You should be using us. Report in 24 hours. I rarely hear anymore that somebody doesn't get a report within 24 hours. And if they're not, they're probably not going to be in the business very long. They need to figure it out, or they only have 5 agents they work with that like them because whatever reason, and those are the only 5 agents they got. We educate the buyer. What does that mean? They like do a slideshow presentation in the living room and I'll sit down and educate them? I don't know what that means, but I see these things over and over and over on advertisements. And if you have some of these, that's fine. It's fine to put it in your stuff, but it's not making you stand out. It's not the thing that is going to make you stand out from all of your other competitors. Years of experience in construction trades. A lot of us came from construction background. It's pretty normal. You know, once in a while you get an agent that says, I want somebody who was a builder. Yes, there's some value there, but most of the time, they don't know, they don't care. They just want to know if you can do an inspection tomorrow. That's like their biggest question. Can you do it tomorrow? I need it yesterday. Licensed home inspector. If you are in a licensed state, I damn hope you are licensed. If it's a licensed state, how is that a selling point? It really isn't. Yeah, we think it might be making them feel better that we're licensed, but they have to be licensed. Easy to understand inspection reports. I see this one a lot. They're easy to understand inspection reports. I hope so. And most of us are probably doing like 8th grade language or easier, and that's just kind of like, we want to make sure everybody understands it, but it's not a good selling point. It's not going to go, the realtor is going to look, oh, easy to read inspection reports. We need to start using this guy. Like, it's not gonna, you know, fill up our schedule. Exactly. I do have one in my market. I look at his and I'm like, I think I need a PhD to figure this thing out. He's got weird boxes and weird, like, weirdest thing I've ever seen out of like the hundreds of inspection reports I've seen, and he is in my area. But he's one of those ones, once again, he's got a couple that like him, and that's it. That's it. He's like on the way out, and he's okay with that. He's retired.